August in the year 2023. It is a glorious, glorious Friday morning. Good morning. A very warm welcome. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Hope you had a restful night's sleep and you're ready to tackle this weekend's issues because it's not going to be a quiet weekend at all. Remember, of course, Media General is your election command center. So you'll want to check in with us all weekend long, and in particular tomorrow for the NPP Super Delegates Conference. Let me say good morning to Mr. William Esiedu. Good morning to you, William. How are we doing this morning? Perfect, as always, perfect by grace. We love that. So it's a good night's sleep, a restful night's sleep.
Yes.
Are you ready for this weekend?
Yes, we are ready. And we hope that the top five will come out easily and smoothly without any problems.
I think that's wishful thinking.
I mean, these are distinguished individuals, and I don't think that we're going to have any problems.
Okay.
Especially when we don't have so many people involved in the whole exercise.
Right.
So hopefully we go to the various centers, cover smoothly, and then we're done. Because some of these elections can be very stressful for journalists. So I'm just hoping that we have a smooth exercise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is much needed. Let's find out now from Felicity Ahafenyo what the weather will be like, if the top five will be greeted with showers of blessings at the end of the weekend. Felicity, hello, good morning to you. Hope you're well.
Better today than yesterday.
Fantastic. Well, again, still quite overcast here in Kanta, looking a bit gloomy. Are we to expect some showers down south? What's it looking like? I know there's been lots of rain up north. Is it trickling down to our part of the country this weekend?
Yes. Thanks so much and good morning to our dear viewers. Yes, for the southern sector this morning, we have the cloudiness with light rain or drizzle. And then the north, they are in the cloudy weather, but then they don't have much rain this morning. By afternoon, we expect those of us in eastern region, part of Ashanti, western north, and then the upper west region to have rain with possibility of occasional thunderstorms. By evening, the overcast will continue over the 16 region, and still we are expecting some rain and light drizzle over the southern sector, but then scattered cases of rain and thunder over the north. The weekend is earmarked for more activities in terms of rain and thunder over the transition, the Savannah, upper east, upper west, and part of the northeast. But then we'll keep monitoring and then keep updating. The southern half will have the overcast in the morning, and then we have light rain or drizzle. Then in the afternoon, we'll have some brief sunshine, sunny period spells, and then later the clouds will come back with patches of light rain or drizzle. In terms of temperatures, it will also remain mild across the 16 region, 29, 30. The mornings and then the nights and the mornings will also be a bit chilly. We expect temperatures to be around 22 over most areas within the country.
All right, Felicity, thank you so much for that update. And of course, we'll keep our eyes peeled for any further ones to come. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Wishing you the same, and hopefully the $1 million will land in your account.
We tap into it, we receive it. Thank you so much, Felicity, for that update. Again, Felicity Ahafenyo is the chief forecaster with the Ghana Met, giving us an insight into what the weather could look like this weekend. If you've only just joined us, well, get comfortable. The news review is to follow very shortly. We're going to be diving into what the dailies have in store for us this morning. But this is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. and track record, both in government and in opposition, as his trump card. Delegates should rely on to vote for him as New Patriotic Party NPP flag bearer. Having sacrificed his time, youth and expertise for the party since 2008, as well as serving diligently in the office of Vice President since 2017, Dr. Bawumia has built an impeccable track record in the administration and governance space that continues to draw huge commendations and acclamation from wide-ranging personalities, organizations, and agencies, attesting to his competence, passion, and commitment. That story goes on, and it's broken down into different paragraphs. You can find it on page 2 of the Finder newspaper. Quite interesting one there. And as I mentioned, I've been observing some tensions, if you will, between the reps of the different delegates. But I think, William, you would say that's par for the course.
Yes.
Within the party framework, they also are practicing a democracy. And so they're absolutely at will to back who they want to, who they think should succeed. Do you think a lot of the tensions will die down once the top 5 are selected?
I mean, I've always believed that in every competition there's tension. And it depends on the level of the tension and how it is handled by the players. So tension in election for me is quite normal. And so far, I haven't read or heard any rancor that has moved beyond just exchange of ideas and sometimes just sprightly arguments and stuff like that. Those are things to be expected. And the polls over the year, from January to date, have all shown the direction that we should expect tomorrow, by and large. It's just between the 4th and the 5th person, that keeps.
Who's your money on for 4 and 5? Because we know for 1, 2, 3.
So for 1, 2, and 3, everybody is talking about Dr. Bawumia,
That's right.
Alantre Martin, Kennedy Japon. The 4th, 5th, Kwame Japon is in there. We are having Fia Kutu sleeping in and out of there. Jogate. So for me, is the 3rd, 1st upwards are clear. Then the 4th and 5th, these are the 3 individuals who keep going round the chairs around the 3rd and 4th. The 4th and 5th. Mr. Jogate, Dr. Usu, Fia Kutu, and Kwame Japon.
Okay.
And so tomorrow we are going to have about 956 delegates who are going to be voting around 17 centers across the country. And we're just hoping that that will whittle down the number from the 10 to the 5. Then these 5 will vie for the top slots in November. That's November 4th. So basically the campaigns have gone well. A lot of them have been, quite clear with their visions. But then you will have to come down to the dynamics of tomorrow's elections. Some have said that when you take Dr. Bawumia,
right,
as soon as Nana Akufo-Addo selected him to run with him for president at the time, I think in 2000 and Nana Akufo-Addo's first
stint at this.
Then he began to prepare for tomorrow and beyond. And so you will see that Dr. Bawumia has been playing the Christian-Muslim game. He's been coming up quite a lot. Today he's in this church, tomorrow he's in this mosque.
That's right.
And for me, sitting as a news analyst, I'm not seeing it as just for nothing. It's a plan that he started pursuing from there.
So when you talk about some of the things we see now, those are others who are also laying their foundation.
Yes, so Dr. Bawumia has been going from church to mosque, as I said, just to give him constituencies in the Muslim community and in the Christian community, because Dr. Bawumia is a Muslim.
That's right.
And so he has to make a conscious effort to gain some constituency in the Christian space, because he knows that if Nana Akufo-Addo should, go, he would want to step up. And the most probable candidate that he will step up against will be former President Mahama.
That's right.
And former President Mahama is from the north. And he's a Christian. And so Dr. Bawumia is also from the north. So when you look at the north connection, he has some constituency there.
That's right.
When you come to the Muslim space, Bawumia has some constituency there, but President Mahama may not have because he's a Christian.
That's right.
And that's why he has taken his northern constituency and put it aside, and also added a bit of President Mahama's Christian population. These are things that always play out when elections come up. Having said that, now he's also trying to tell people that, I'm talking about Dr. Bawumia, telling people that he's done ABCD because people see him as an outsider. Because there's a tradition in the NPP where you have to start from somewhere, compete against your elders, as they say, and then literally stand till your time is up.
When you say Edrumiso.
So he's now fighting that furiously and said that, look, I have been with the party, I've sacrificed. And someone said that you went to court, you defended the party, but you went to court because your name was on the rates.
Yes, you had to go.
Yes, you had to go. So if you've done what was a matter of course, we don't give you credit for doing something like that. But if you look at Alan Trematin, he started with the Young Executives Club in the NPP when the party started earlier. He served as minister. He stood on a number of occasions. He's come very close. At a point, he even allowed Nana Akufo-Addo to go. And so people think that he's still, according to the tradition of the NPP, it is time for Mr. Alan Trematin to go. Now, you come to Mr. Kwabena, Mr. Kennedy Agyapong.
Right.
He is somebody who, on a larger scale, Ghanaians think that there's so much indiscipline in the system. There's so much corruption. People are looking for jobs. The indiscipline side and how he will bring it back. He speaks like somebody who injects discipline into the system. But on the back of that, people also refer to his own character and temperament.
That's right.
So there, he may lose a bit in terms of credibility when he says he's going to fight in discipline. He has said that he will hire and fire. That we believe he can do.
Right.
But his temperament is something that he has to work on, and for which people think he's going to lose some mark there.
And I think I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe his pointers for the next time round would be in the next couple of years to also work on that temperament, so that the utterances we refer to will be way in the past, because they are too close,
exactly,
too
because,
frequent.
The presidency requires and demands some diplomacy.
That's right.
But he has created a lot of jobs, so when he promises that he's going to give you jobs, we will believe him, because he has the record to show that he's a job creator. And then when you look at the fact that he's also somebody who is a grassroots person. He goes down to the people and then he's able to, galvanize support from the base. So he also stands there. Mr. Kwame Agyapong is also a very solid person when it comes to discipline.
That's right.
Because he speaks his mind and he has suffered for it sometime. But this is something that Ghanaians want. Somebody who can speak to power, truth to power, and get things rolling. He has also been with the party for a long time as a young activist. He's been with President Kufuor. He's been with Nana Akufo-Addo. He's been with all of them. He's even risen to become General Secretary. So people think that it is time for him to, as a young person, take up the mantle. Relatively young person, not that young though. Take up the mantle. Old youth. Take up the mantle and then move. Then we also look at Joe Ghartey. Joe Ghartey comes with he doesn't have too many issues with his character and his service to the party.
He's been quite quiet though.
No, I mean relatively
so in comparison with the others.
It depends on the kind of strategy he's using in the campaign, because this is just a super delegates conference.
That's
so
right.
He's not out there in the media. Maybe he's engaging them on the ground.
Which is also worth noting, because this is a different type of exercise.
It's not a mass election where you would have to use the mass media to do your campaign. So maybe he's there trying to get one-on-one interactions with the 956 individuals who are going to vote tomorrow. So the analysis that we've seen so far, we also have the diaspora votes.
Okay.
And then if you look at the diaspora, interestingly, these gentlemen here, a lot of them have worked abroad or lived abroad and have the connections there. Mr. Agyapong was in America for a long time.
That's right.
Mr. Alan Trematin was in the US too for a long time.
You have Dr. Akoto also
was in the UK or thereabout for a long time.
That's right.
Mr. Jakun worked in the US for a long time. Mr. Preku also worked in the US for a long time. And so when you look at the diaspora votes, I don't know how they are going to play out, but these are individuals who also use their Yankee and UK connections to also get some votes from the diaspora. So tomorrow, from where I sit, it's quite clear who are going to be the top 5. But in elections, you have to fear delegates.
Even in an exercise like this, we can still.
And this is a purely delegates thing.
So fear
and
delegates,
this is where the
absolutely
fear must be heightened and appreciated.
Okay.
If you go and you think that it is, as some would say, it's clear like TV3.
An excellent breakdown for us, William. We're very grateful. A quick paragraph here, though, still on tomorrow. It says, clean and respectful campaign. While the vice president was bombarded with innuendos by some of the aspirants and their supporters, he did not attack any of the aspirants, remained calm and urged all his supporters to keep a clean and respectful campaign. And those are some of the rules, in fact, the party itself laid down ahead of tomorrow. And I think after after that, I was observing the space, and for the most part, I don't think we've had any really sensational utterances. Like you said, a few sprightly discussions here and there, as is to be expected.
Yes.
Every now and again, I feel as though the temperature starts to get a bit too hot, a few degrees hot, which, as you say, in competition, it's normal.
Tension,
a little tension, as we've seen. Tomorrow is going to be very exciting for sure. We are still your election command center, so keep your dial locked with us across all our different channels. Keep your eyes peeled, of course, on 3news.com. We'll have all of the latest. And also send your predictions through. A lot of you have been talking on the socials. We still want to hear from you. Who do you think is sailing through? I think for most of you, your top 3 predictions are locked in, much like myself and Williams. The 4th and 5th places, I think, could be a bit shaky. So we'll keep our eye out on this. Let's do one more in the Finder newspaper, and then, of course, we'll make way for the rest of the morning. China introduces Ghana to its poverty alleviation model. China's economy also doing some weird things here and there. You know, we have inflation. What is the opposite of inflation? Deflation. I think they are also going through something like that. The banks are begging them to come and borrow. Their new interest rate, something like 3.5%. They've reduced it further. Come and borrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an economist, so when it comes to the economics of things, I don't want to go into much. But China has shown the world that if you have good leadership and you are, intentional about some of these things, it's possible. I mean, we all read that they literally closed their borders for almost 30, 40 years,
yes,
just to plan and see how they would come forward and be with the big boys. And today we are hearing about BRICS and how China is even discussing with the BRICS members to introduce their own currency even deal with their own local currencies, to literally let me take it slowly, de-dollarize the system, so that America does not become too powerful to the extent that when the dollar does anything, the world economy is crashing.
And we know some other heavyweights have also shown their keen interest, Saudi Arabia and the like. And
this morning we are reading that even Ethiopia has been invited to join the bloc. Ghana was there. We are not too sure whether we are joining or not, because we have very strong ties with the West.
That's right.
It's something that going forward would consider. At the end of the day, if China is having issues with its economy, China sits in a place where whatever it does will affect the world economy.
That's right.
Because literally whatever is designed around the world is literally manufactured in China. And so if the banks are saying that people should come and borrow, maybe the companies are doing so well that they don't need any money from any bank in terms of borrowing. And then you look at the picture here. So it's something that we also have to learn and try to practice in Ghana, where we have to fight inflation to a point where we invest more in manufacturing so that we don't import more. We cut down on the imports and see how our inflation will play out. This morning we are also hearing that the economist, Mr. Kwame Pianim, is suggesting that, look, instead of targeting the Bank of Ghana boss, why don't we just target the finance minister? Because if inflation is going up and down, he's the one who is asking the Bank of Ghana to do haircut here and there. Because even if the BOG boss exits, it's the same finance minister who is going to nominate a new governor. So when it comes to the economy, a lot of things play out.
That's right.
And so when you mention China, India, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, you know that America will also be looking at the bloc very, very closely. So
absolutely,
whatever is happening in China, we should be interested.
Well, we'll talk about that and some more matters arising as the show continues. We'll park it now for the news review. We'll take a quick message. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. A reminder to keep playing *439